So even though I'm super strategic, I also know that you cannot be thinking scarcity when you're trying to attract luxury clients. You have to totally change your mindset. Hey, Boudoir photographers. Are you ready to be totally booked out with high-paying clients? I'm Tracy Lynn, and I went from side hustle photographer to running $1 million boudoir photography business, working just 30 hours a month. That's right, just 30 hours a month. On this podcast, I tell you how I did it and how you can too. Hey there, and welcome back to Sustainable Freedom with Boudoir Photography. Today we're focusing on 3 things preventing you from making thousands of dollars a month with your boudoir photography business. And the first thing that I really want to focus on is your mindset. It's a super crucial aspect that can, to be honest, make or break your business. It's the lens through which you view your challenges and your opportunities, and it shapes every decision that you make. So I want to talk about 3 prevalent mindset blocks that could be slowing your growth. I think one of the most significant hurdles in the mindset of many boudoir photographers is scarcity. You might find yourself lying awake at night, worried about securing your next client, or you might feel the urge to accept every inquiry that comes your way, regardless of whether or not they fit your ideal client profile. This is a fear-driven approach, and it can prevent you from scaling your business, marketing yourself as a premium luxury brand in the boudoir industry. So I have had this specific circumstance come up in many of the coaching client calls that I had this week. I actually had a very long conversation about this with one of my photographers in 6FS. She was very, very nervous about booking clients because she is worried about money right now. So we really want to shift from the scarcity and start thinking in abundance to allow those clients to come to you. Now, I will say I am not the woo-woo photographer. I am not a woo-woo business owner. I like to say that to my makeup artist, Tiffany. She is very woo-woo and I am very, very strategic. So even though I'm super strategic, I also know that you cannot be thinking scarcity when you're trying to attract luxury clients. You have to totally change your mindset. So to shift from that scarcity to abundance, you want to start by evaluating your financial safety net. So for example, if you're struggling financially, like if you're a single parent or someone with significant financial burdens, you might need to get a part-time job. You might even do freelancing in a different area of photography, like you could do second shooting on the side for wedding photographers, or you could take a real estate gig until you can get your business off the ground. This additional income will help you feel a little bit better about your financial stress, allow you to be more selective with your photography clients, allow you to grow your business in a way that is going to be sustainable instead of desperate. Another thing that you can do is think about the future. Imagine your schedule filled with these ideal clients who value your work and pay your rates without hesitation. I am, like I said, not woo-woo, but I also do like to dream about the future, about the success that I know that I'll have eventually. It kind of just helps you keep your eye on the prize so that you keep working towards that goal. You also need to value your worth. That is the second thing I want to talk about. So a common block is undervaluing your services. Many photographers struggle with charging what they truly are worth. And I don't even like calling it what you're worth because it's what you deserve to be paid as a human being, let's be honest. But back to, quote, valuing your worth, many photographers underestimate the value of their work and the experience they provide more often. Now, what I want to focus on here is you don't have to be an amazing photographer. You need to create an experience and help your clients understand how valuable this experience that you're giving them really is. The best business owners, the most successful photographers are not necessarily the best photographers, like the most talented photographers. They are successful because they know how to run a business. All that being said, remember, you provide a unique service that captures invaluable moments and feelings for your clients. You're not just taking pictures. You're crafting an experience and creating lasting memories. So you want to create a stronger sense of worth in yourself, and you can start by looking at the positive reviews that you've had from clients. Look at the compliments they've given you about your work. If you know that you're great, you're going to be able to have that sense of worth, that will be instilled in you so that you feel like you are worth the prices that you're charging. Another thing you can do is while you're gaining your confidence, you can start increasing your prices. So let's say that you give yourself every 3 sessions that you book and sell photos from, then you would increase your prices by $100 for your albums until you get to where you want to be. That way, you're increasing your prices as your confidence grows. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about as far as mindset is specializing versus general photography. I really think that it's important to specialize. I think we all know that I am a big fan on niching down. And it might seem like if you are doing more general photography, it's going to be safer because you can serve many different types of clients, right? Honestly, though, it leads to a diluted brand, reduced expertise in one area. You're not specializing in one thing, so you are not the expert in that one thing. But if you specialize in boudoir photography, you look like the expert. You are the expert in boudoir photography in your area. It gives you the chance to refine your skills, develop a distinctive style, and it allows you to be the authority in your area for your type of photography. The more clients you have, the more confident you're going to get. So I know that when you are early in business, you're doing your first in-person sales session. I know that that can be scary. Just go into it with confidence and it will be fine. Make sure that you are setting your business up for success rather than just kind of throwing it out there and hoping clients come. If you have a business strategy in place, it's going to guarantee that your mindset is so much better. But I do know that it's going to take you a little bit of time to gain that confidence. Most importantly, remember that the transformation from scarcity to abundance, it begins in your mind. So address the barriers that you have and then take strategic action. So lay that foundation and you will have a way more successful career if you have a solid foundation in your mindset. The second thing that I think could be preventing you from making thousands of dollars in your photography business is setting up your price list. Setting up your price list is not just about figuring out what number to quote clients when they inquire. It's about strategically setting up your price list to maximize the amount of money that you make and guide your clients towards what you want them to spend. The first thing you need to do to maximize how much money you make at each session is to understand how much money goes into each session. So you need to understand your cost of doing business. So understanding your expenses is the first step. Every photographer needs to have a crystal clear picture of their cost of doing business. That includes direct costs like equipment, studio rentals, cost of goods, but also indirect costs like editing time, overhead. And why is that important? Because knowing your cost is the foundation of setting prices that ensure you not only cover your expenses, but also make a profit and you're able to pay yourself. When it comes to cost of goods like your albums, your prints, your canvases, I suggest a 4x markup, making your cost of goods around 25% of what you charge clients. But cost of goods isn't the only thing that you account for. That's just the basic part of it. You also need to take into account everything that costs you money or time all year long. That's going to give you the number that you need to make per session to not only cover your expenses, but also have a healthy profit for you to live on and a profit for your business to survive on in slower times, So cost of goods, like cost of goods sold, that is important to know for your markup, but you also need to know how much does it take to keep the lights on? How much do you have to pay, for example, your accountant? How much are your QuickBooks accounting fees? How much is depreciation? How much do you spend every year on new props. Like, you need to know everything that you have budgeted in your business. If you know those things, you will know what markup you need for your price list. Now, knowing your numbers is definitely essential, but you also need to structure your price list with sales psychology in mind so that you can start steering your clients towards spending more. The idea here is to create a pricing structure that guides clients towards your desired sales average. So my sales average goal for Boudoir sessions is $2,500 a session. Clients know that their minimum purchase is $400 on top of the session fee, which is anywhere from $99 to $299, depending on if they get in on a giveaway or not. I want to be crystal clear that the $400 minimum purchase does not mean that my lowest collection is $400. Clients love collections because they feel valuable and they see that they're saving money next to the price itself. But can they only buy $400 worth of products or photos? Sure, but they're not getting much because the price list is structured to steer them towards our sales average. And after the experience they just had, after they see their photos, they don't want to just spend that $400. My lowest collection is actually $2,000. It includes 20 total images, but most clients don't just want those 20 images. One of the best strategies that we use to increase their desire is by selling to them during the session. We're hyping them up. We're saying things like, oh my gosh, these are so gorgeous. You're going to want all of them. We also show them usually over 100 different images. So they always want more than 20 images. So hopefully you can see that if my lowest collection that included 20 photos was only $500, I would have a much harder time steering them to my desired $2,500 average sale. They'd probably just take that and leave and wonder why you gave them this incredible experience for so little money. That's why it's crucial to have a price list that works for you, not against you. Now, the final piece to setting up your price list to maximize your revenue is really understanding that the in-person sales structure is your friend and why you need to say bye-bye to your all-inclusive structure. There are truly only 3 ways to generate revenue in photography. You can, number 1, get a new client. Number 2, increase your sales average. Or 3, have a repeat client. But we're not talking about booking new clients right now. We're talking about increasing your sales average. And the way to do that is to not cap it by using all-inclusive pricing. Moving to in-person sales can definitely feel daunting. I get that. But the reward is so worth it. IPS is your opportunity to sell your work. Talk about those images with your client and reassure her as to how beautiful she is. Really create desire for your client. And then be the expert and show her how she can display her beautiful images in a way that she can be proud of. In-person sales also allows you to show beautiful products like high quality prints, albums, wall art, items that significantly mark up the perceived value of your work, and they're not typically purchased in an online gallery setting. So you might be thinking that IPS is scary, it's too much work, you're taking too much time, you're taking advantage of your client with these larger numbers. But I want to encourage you to change your mindset to realize that you're providing a luxury service. You're guiding your clients through choosing products that suit their needs. And it does happen to increase your profitability of each session, but you are delivering a product. You are a full service photographer. So to sum it up, you need to understand your costs. You need to apply sales psychology to your pricing. You need to adopt an in-person sales model. You're setting up your business not just to succeed, but to thrive financially. And remember that the key to a successful pricing strategy is not just in the numbers. It's in the psychology and the personal touch you bring to your sales process. Your price list is more than just a list. It's a crucial tool in your strategy. Guide your clients through the value ladder that you've created. Lead them towards the choices that give them a better experience and helps your profitability. One more thing that I wanted to add is I said this yesterday, I think in my 6-figure simplified group call. You couldn't pry my sales sessions from me, from my cold, dead hands, because I love the sales sessions. It is my favorite part of the entire photography experience. That's why I gave up the shooting side, because I love the sales side. And I think that if you give yourself a chance, you're going to love that too. So I know when you go into your first IPS session, you are going to be nervous. I get that. But if you give it a chance, if you go into it confident the first time and just increase your confidence every single time, I think you're going to find that you love it too. You just need to give it a chance. And the third thing that might be preventing you from making thousands of dollars a month with your boudoir photography is most likely your visibility strategy or your marketing strategy. Now, a couple things that I want to cover here is, first of all, your pricing strategy plays a role in your marketing strategy. You're not just going to book a ton of clients. We've already talked about this a little bit. With a high barrier to entry, it's going to be harder to get those clients in through the doors. So you want to have a lower barrier to entry, but in your marketing strategy, you're going to be talking to them about the entire session so that they understand the value of your session. So the first thing is understanding your pricing. We already did probably 10 to 15 minutes of pricing specifically, so I'm not going to dive into that, but I do want you to understand that your pricing strategy could be what's hindering your marketing. It could be what's hindering you from booking the clients. In my courses, in my programs, I have something called the sales average spreadsheet. The sales average spreadsheet will tell you if you have a pricing problem or a marketing problem based on your personal goals. I have that in the TLC shop, so I can link that below or in the show notes, totally fine. But that is something that I really want you to understand. You can have a pricing problem or a marketing problem, and the data will show you what it is based on your personal goals. The second thing that I want to talk about is knowing who your ideal client is. You need to know who your ideal client is in order to actually show up in front of them. So early in my business, my ideal client was a bride. I knew exactly where she was hanging out. I knew what gym she was going to. I knew where she was getting her hair and makeup done. And I was able to use those places to leverage myself, to put me in front of her in the best way possible. I went to bridal shops. I went to bridal shows. I knew where she was hanging out, so I was able to create a marketing strategy to go find her without putting myself in front of places that didn't matter. If my ideal client is a bride, why would I be putting myself in front of like moms or dads even in this other place? Like, I was very dedicated to making sure that my ideal client was the only thing that I was going after. I made sure that I put myself where she was and didn't even worry about the other places. The next thing that you want to do is make sure that you have a website. It needs to be a high converting website, and that website needs to take your client or your lead on a journey to help them book out their schedule. So the first thing that it does is they'll land on your homepage, and it's going to either encourage them to go to the next page you want them to go, or download your free guide, or go ahead and book a session. But what you need to do is make sure that you're answering every single question that your lead has, so that eventually, while they're still on your website, they're going to just become a client because you answered every question that they had, making it obvious that you are the right photographer for them. Once you have that high converting website, once you know that when a lead is on that website, they're going to either book a session or join your email list, then at that point, you can start driving traffic to your website. The way that we do that, I talk about it all the time in my podcast episodes, but the way that we do that is very, very specific. I have pretty much 5 different avenues that I really focus on when I'm driving traffic to my website. That is not paid ads. I don't do paid ads. I don't do Facebook groups. I don't really do model calls. I don't actually do model calls, but it is definitely social media, blogging, SEO, search engine optimization, events, email marketing, and client referrals or business referrals. So those are the 5 things that I focus on when I'm driving traffic to my website. You can most definitely book out your schedule with free organic leads rather than cold paid ads. I think it is so much better. Your sales average will be so much higher if you are using content marketing to book out your schedule instead of those cold leads. Now, if you only get one thing from this episode, I want you to understand that the reason that you are not booking out your schedule, the reason you're not making thousands of dollars a month, is most likely your mindset, your pricing strategy, or your marketing. I did say earlier that I have that sales average spreadsheet. That sales average spreadsheet can literally tell you where the problem is in your business. So if you want that, I will be happy to send that over to you. Just DM me on Instagram at It's Tracy Lynn. I will send you the link. It is not very expensive, and it can literally tell you where the problem is in your business. I am still offering those free 15-minute coaching calls, so make sure that you go grab one. They're in the show notes. No strings attached. I will answer any questions that you might have. I would love to jump on a call with you, so make sure that you go check out that link, pick a day that works for you, and let's chat and see if anything pops up for you. If you have any questions whatsoever, if it's about your marketing, if it's about your pricing, if it's about your mindset, I am here to help. So be sure to reach out at It's Tracy Lynn on Instagram. I'm happy to just DM you if you don't want to jump on a call. So let me know, but otherwise I will see you next week. Thank you for listening to this episode of Sustainable Freedom with Boudoir Photography. Please be sure to rate and follow so that you never miss an episode. They drop every Thursday and they're always full of super actionable information for you to apply right now in your boudoir business. Until then, make your next shoot your best shoot.